Medieval art is filled with strange, humorous, and seemingly inaccurate depictions that leave modern viewers puzzled. Have you ever wondered why medieval artists painted people with such bizarre proportions, or why animals sometimes look so hilariously wrong? These peculiarities reveal a lot about the culture, beliefs, and limitations of the time. In this video, we'll dive into the fascinating world of medieval art, uncovering the reasons behind its oddities and what they tell us about the medieval mindset. Stay with us as we explore the cultural context, symbolic meanings, anatomical misunderstandings, and much more. By the end of this video, you'll have a deeper appreciation for the humor and creativity of medieval artists and understand the serious purposes behind their seemingly funny works. Let's begin by understanding the cultural context of medieval art. The secret humor in medieval manuscripts. Medieval manuscripts often feature marginalia, decorative elements that include bizarre and humorous illustrations. These whimsical images were created by scribes and artists who spent countless hours copying texts. To break the monotony, they added playful and humorous elements to their work. For example, you might find knights battling giant snails or rabbits engaging in jousting tournaments. These illustrations served as a form of medieval comic relief, providing amusement to the readers and reflecting the artist's creativity and sense of humor. One of the most famous examples of humorous marginalia is the depiction of a knight fighting a snail. This recurring image has puzzled historians for years. Some theories suggest it symbolizes the struggle between good and evil, while others believe it represents social satire, mocking the slow progress of certain aspects of society. Regardless of the exact meaning, these images offer a glimpse into the medieval mindset, where humor and seriousness coexisted in unexpected ways. Symbolic animals in medieval art. Animals in medieval art were not just decorative elements, they were rich with symbolism. For instance, snails often represented laziness or the slow passage of time. Monkeys, on the other hand, were seen as symbols of mischief and human folly. By incorporating these animals into their art, medieval artists conveyed messages that were easily understood by contemporary viewers. A fascinating example is the use of monkeys in religious manuscripts. Monkeys were often depicted mimicking human behavior, symbolizing the idea that humans, like monkeys, could be foolish and sinful. This symbolism served as a moral lesson for the viewers, reminding them of the importance of virtue and the dangers of vice. Birds also played a significant role in medieval symbolism. The pelican, for example, was often depicted as piercing its own breast to feed its young with its blood, symbolizing Christ's sacrifice. These symbolic animals enriched the visual narratives of medieval art, providing layers of meaning that went beyond the literal. Medieval artists used these symbols to communicate complex ideas and moral lessons in a visual format that was accessible to a largely illiterate population. The symbolic use of animals allowed for a deeper connection and understanding of the depicted scenes, enhancing the educational and moral impact of the artwork. Mythical beasts of the Middle Ages. Medieval art is replete with mythical creatures, such as dragons, unicorns, and griffins. These fantastical beasts were more than just figments of the imagination. They had deep symbolic meanings and often represented the unknown and the mysterious. Dragons, for example, were commonly depicted as fierce and malevolent creatures, embodying chaos and destruction. They often appeared in religious texts as symbols of Satan or sin, emphasizing the battle between good and evil. These depictions reinforced the moral and spiritual lessons being conveyed. Unicorns, in stark contrast, symbolized purity and grace. Often associated with Christ or the Virgin Mary, unicorns were depicted as gentle creatures that could only be tamed by a virgin. This symbolism underscored themes of innocence and sanctity, making unicorns powerful symbols in religious and secular art alike. Griffins, with the body of a lion and the head and wings of an eagle, symbolized strength, courage, and protection. They were often used in heraldry and depicted guarding treasures or sacred spaces, highlighting their role as protectors of the divine and the noble. These mythical beasts were not only decorative elements, but also served as allegories and moral lessons for medieval viewers. By incorporating these creatures into their art, medieval artists were able to convey complex ideas and spiritual truths in a visual and engaging way. The hidden humor in religious medieval art. Humor in religious manuscripts might seem surprising, but it was quite common. Monks and scribes often included playful and satirical elements in their work, despite the serious nature of the texts. These humorous illustrations served multiple purposes. They provided a mental break for the reader, highlighted moral lessons through satire, and showcased the artist's skill and wit. For example, you might find a monk depicted as a fool or a devil engaging in mischievous activities. These illustrations were not meant to undermine the religious message, but to reinforce it by contrasting the sacred with the profane. This use of humor made the manuscripts more engaging and relatable to the medieval audience. One famous example is the Luttrell Psalter, which contains numerous humorous and grotesque figures in the margins. These images range from animals playing musical instruments to hybrid creatures engaging in human-like activities. The juxtaposition of these whimsical elements with the solemn religious text adds a layer of complexity and richness to the manuscript, reflecting the multifaceted nature of medieval spirituality. The inclusion of humor also served to humanize the monks and scribes who created these works, showing that they too had a sense of humor and were capable of playfulness even within the confines of their religious duties. This approach helped to make the religious teachings more accessible and memorable to those who encountered these manuscripts. Folklore's influence on medieval art. Local folklore and legends had a significant impact on medieval art. Artists drew inspiration from popular tales and incorporated these stories into their works, creating a rich visual narrative that resonated with viewers. These depictions were not just entertaining, they were educational, reinforcing cultural values and beliefs. One notable example is the story of the Green Man, a mythical figure often depicted in medieval art. The Green Man symbolized rebirth and the cycle of growth, reflecting the medieval fascination with nature and the changing seasons. Carved into church decorations and illustrated in manuscripts, the Green Man served as a reminder of the natural world's importance and the spiritual significance of nature's cycles. Another example is the legend of St. George and the Dragon. This story, widely popular in medieval Europe, depicted the triumph of good over evil, a common theme in both religious and secular art. St. George, often shown slaying the dragon, symbolized bravery, faith, and the protection of the innocent. These stories, depicted in vivid detail, helped convey moral and spiritual lessons to the medieval audience. The influence of folklore extended to everyday scenes as well. Tales of local heroes, mythical creatures, and supernatural events were frequently illustrated in manuscripts and on the walls of public buildings. These images helped preserve and propagate folklore, ensuring that these stories were passed down through generations. These visual narratives not only entertained but also educated, making the lessons and values of the time more accessible to a broad audience. By exploring the quirky and often bizarre illustrations found in these ancient manuscripts, we gain a deeper understanding of the medieval mindset and the world they lived in. The hidden humor in religious art highlights the multifaceted nature of medieval spirituality, while the influence of local folklore on art underscores the importance of cultural narratives in shaping visual storytelling. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of medieval art, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more fascinating content. Let us know in the comments which topic you'd like us to explore next.